So we will do the weekly world Samsara recap, the progress so far. So one of the biggest news in the world is like Trump winning, right? That for India, you have to wonder like what will be beneficial. So I thought about this before because it doesn't really matter because their foreign policy actually remains same, whether it is Democratic, Republican, because that race is inherently selfish, no? So their fight is only about how to distribute the loot. It's not about or how to kind of maintain their superiority in the world. They will never fight for poor nations or other people suffering from climate change or things like that. And Trump is good for us because he is going to increase the isolation of USA. See, Kamala Harris would have played diplomatically, no? Now it cannot be played diplomatically. So it will expose kind of their agendas about the world. In their country, whatever they do is like 300-year-old country only. It's not even country. Like, what does it mean to be American? Nothing. What is their food? What is their cuisine? What is their dance form? What is their culture? Nothing. It's all a khichdi of loot from everyone else around the world. So for India, it's not about India. It's about truth, basically. Trump is good for destruction, you know. We have to give them final fighting chance, no? So Trump is good for that. And he did the good polarization, no? Like all of them are aligned now. We are one team. So when we defeat them, it will be like a sound defeat now. Their only strength really is the knowledge that they possess. That knowledge gets exhibited in different forms, like their weapons will be stronger, right? Their information technology will be stronger. So with that we will cover. We will go fast now. So the next topic is regarding that only. As a nation, what we need to figure out. First of all, you need to figure out your dependencies. Basically, treat the nation as a unit and see what you are taking from outside and what you are giving to outside. So for India, like two big dependencies is energy and weapons, right? Like we import a lot of our energy and we import a lot of weapons. So for no nation can be self-dependent if these two very basic things are imported. So you need to figure it out, right? And I drew a diagram also. So basically, as a nation, no, we need to figure out these external points. So it's like everything, no? So you need to figure out like where are you depending on outside. Let's say you're using internet. You use internet as a knowledge base, but where is that knowledge coming from? Where is the physical location? That is a dependency. Because their server, they can do whatever they want, no? In wartime, none of these things works, no? Look at Russia, like they blocked the SWIFT financial system. What is that SWIFT financial system? It's like a mutually agreed system between different countries on currency exchange, no? Like, okay, it's like a common register you can maintain. So they like, okay, I will not include you in the register. So anytime they can do it. So you need to create a parallel system or like something which you can replace it. So financially, you need to see, knowledge-wise, you need to see how much of your knowledge is dependent on outside. So, like how much documentation you have of your own country, and all of that. No, it needs to happen. You cannot be dependent on, like, if a white guy telling you what aghori means. No, that will be like stupid. A white guy telling you like what yoga means. So you need to realize all of this as a nation, like what stuff is coming in and what stuff is going out, and have a sound understanding of it. Because the world is going to like boil, like it is going to happen. So you need to be prepared. What else? Like two stuff we need to do. One is the catching up in the knowledge in terms of practicality, so that we can also have equal footing. We can also create good submarines, we can also create good fighter jets and all of that. And then next is to revive the Vedic science and connect it to this knowledge. You cannot let one thing lose, because then you lose footing in the present, which is very tricky. Next is regarding this prophets, spiritual leaders and everything. So see, this myth everyone needs to be very clear about. Islam is not a religion of God. Like it is clearly mentioned that Muhammad is the last prophet. Now by the same definition, even Sikhism is invalid. If Muhammad is the last prophet of the God, then who is Guru Nanak? You understand? Anyone who came after is invalid. So it doesn't exist. It cannot exist with anything, any other entity. Because the guy has created a system which is like a self-verifiable. Like you cannot verify, because there is no science basis in Islam that you can verify. Like there is a chakra activation or whatever like that. There's nothing is there. You declare like I am the only one who knows. After me nobody can come. You close all the loopholes, basically. Like knowledge, you need to look, no? Does it provide any knowledge? Is it just pure blind bhakti? That also is like based on not good things, but bad things. It's like an uncontrolled cult, basically. And in Kali Yuga, a lot of people subscribe to it because all of them wanted to do the bad things only. They're like, oh, now we have an organized cult, let's do it together. So we can get verification also that we are doing the right thing. Humans do a lot of stuff like this, no? As long as the society verifies you, it doesn't matter. Internally it is right or wrong. You do it. Like for Christianity, you can say that you can take Jesus in but leave Christianity out. Because the difference is, when you look at the history of Christianity, means what? Like organization around Jesus Christ, right? Now that organization has done all the bad things in the world. All the bad things. Like all the popes are basically not the man of God, but they are the man of demon only. Like you look at their history, no, what they have done. the slavery was officially sanctioned by the Pope. Which God man does that? Which Jesus Christ teaching like tells you to do that? So you take Jesus Christ in, Jesus, you take him, he was a nice guy, but you leave Christianity out. So anybody who is basically following the organized Christianity is out. Islam is completely out. There is no point in that. Most of it is like political stuff only. Like everybody will quote Rumi in Hindi, English, you will find every version of it. But nobody will know the poems of Akka Mahadevi, no? Why? It's not like her poems are not good. So they are not spiritual enough. It's just that they were in power, they made him more famous. And now everyone is like chanting those things. Like you look at the composition, no? You look at the composition of Shankaracharya, like Soundarya Lahari, all of these beautiful compositions. But do you know them? But you only know you be like, oh, सही और गलत के पार एक मैदान होगा, वहाँ मैं मिलूँगा. Like all of this bullshit.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः.
And the final step is basically people need to realize the knowledge, make it real. Because if you keep in books, then the same stuff will happen that has been happening till now. If you don't practice it, if you don't put it in your life, everyday life, and you just do it on occasions, like this 5 minutes God is there, then the rest of the day God is not there, God is not looking. So if you behave like that, then corruption will be inside you. So obviously you will be easy to conquer.
Namo